there is something about human beings that loves gates. We like knowing who is in and who is out. We like knowing where we belong. We like knowing who our people are. And honestly, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. We need community. We need family. We need traditions. We need stories that tell us where we came from and help us understand who we are. We need people with whom we can say, "These are my people." This is part of being human. But somewhere along the way, the boundaries that help us know can become the boundaries we use to decide who somebody else is allowed to be. And that is where today's gospel may get a little bit uncomfortable for us. Because a Canaanite woman comes to Jesus asking for help. Her daughter is suffering. She cries out, "Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David." And the disciples respond in a way human beings have been responding to outsiders forever. Send her away. She's loud. She's inconvenient. She's from the wrong people. She is interrupting what they think Jesus came to do. And when Jesus finally speaks to her, his first words don't sound much better. "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Now there's a boundary. There's a mission. There's an inside. And she's standing outside of it. I understand something about standing outside a gate. Some of that probably goes all the way back to childhood for me. I was the younger child in a family where, at least from the way I experienced it, time and resources always seemed a little scarce by the time they got to me. My older siblings had opportunities that sometimes didn't seem available anymore when it was my turn. They got piano lessons years longer than I was able to take them. They were able to participate in organized sports. By the time I came along, there wasn't always enough money or time left for the same things. And I don't tell you that I blame anybody. Families do the best with what they can and what they have. But children do not always experience family systems as economic theories. Children experience them emotionally. And somewhere inside that little boy can form a quiet belief. Maybe there isn't enough for me. Maybe everyone else gets first fruits. Maybe I should be grateful for the leftovers. Maybe if I'm helpful enough, funny enough, good enough, useful enough, somebody will make room for me. And then you add being the overweight kid. You add being teased. You add all of those moments when children somehow know exactly where your most vulnerable place is and somehow know exactly how to poke it. And pretty soon, belonging becomes more than something you want. Belonging can begin to feel like something you have to earn. Maybe some of you know what this feels like. Maybe your story is completely different from mine. Maybe it was the family you grew up in. Maybe it was school. Maybe it was church. Maybe it was the color of your skin. Maybe it was your body. Maybe it was your sexuality. Maybe it was your addiction. Maybe it was your divorce. Maybe it was the questions you asked that everyone else seemed afraid to ask. Maybe it was simply the strange realization that everybody else seemed to have received a handbook for how to be normal, and somehow yours never arrived in the mail. We might laugh about that. But underneath it is something deeply human. We want to belong. And because we want to belong so badly, belonging becomes one of the easiest ways to manipulate human beings. Buy this, and you'll belong. Wear this, and you'll belong. Drive this, believe this, vote this way, look this way, love the right people, avoid the wrong people, speak the right language, go to the right church. And sometimes even religion begins whispering, become more like us, and maybe God will let you in too.